So some of the people I've talked to, in their relationships, they discuss things. And that's the way I do things. I believe in having discussions, seeing every side of a problem, not being judgmental, things like that. But there's a problem in there in my family. Certain individuals aren't given any right to speak. You're not allowed to speak. You're not allowed to talk against your mother or father. Like, for instance, let's say my mother is drinking and about to go driving, or my father just is drunk shit faced and they're about to drive. Even at the age of 18, you're not, it doesn't matter what age, 10, 12, doesn't matter what age you are. In my family, you're not allowed to say, hey, that's a bad idea, let's call a cab. That is against everything. You get a ruler beating if you mention that. If you say something about a cab, if your teacher said, if your parents go home or if they seem drunk, tell them they have a cab, or you heard this someplace else and you see that your parents are drunk and you want to, you want them to call a cab to get home. If you said that in my family as a child, or at least as me, oh boy, when you, for one, you got to shut the hell up right there and then. They're telling you, no, 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 you don't get to talk. Then you're getting in the car. You're going home, and then you're going to get the beating of or ruler or whatever. Or if it's not a smacking, oh boy, you're going to get belittled. You're going to get put down. How dare you speak to us in that way? You are the child. You jump when we say jump. How dare you speak against us? I don't care if you are 50 years old and we are 100. You never will be above us and get to talk to us that way. But it doesn't matter. Let's say it's medications. Let's say I go up to my mother and I tell her I'm having side effects from a medication. I'm not blaming any, I'm not in trouble. I'm just saying, hey, I'm getting these weird headaches and I'm really, really tired for hours and hours in the morning. My mother will then turn it around, tell me not to blame medicines for side effects, or it's all in my head. That's another one she did. She said, oh, it's all in my head. I asked her to explain that one. She said, you start believing side effects when you hear them. Now, I didn't get to read the paperwork. I was very slow at reading and learning how to read. I'm a lot better at it now, but still some of the wording, like some of the legal termination, like black law book I looked at, I don't know. I have a black law book and it's all gibberish to me. So at this time, I'm just having side effects trying to tell my mother, the doctors, people about it. That's it. I'm not in any trouble, but my mother tries to use that, like when kids try to blame, like they break a vase. Oh, it's the medicine. Yeah, you don't blame the medicine if you're breaking vases. That's fucked up shit. But if you're reporting side effects, that's not a phrase a mother should be using. Not only that, when I brought up the side effects that I like the drowsiness and the problems in the morning, they're visible to everybody. I'm getting my other kids coming up to me talking to me about it. I got teachers and other adults. So this is a real problem, and it's all in my head isn't a good answer. Not if other people are bringing it to me. So this is what I'm kind of talking about. We don't get to have conversations, but when I tell my mother she's wrong, then I'm yelled at and told to shut up. You don't get to talk to me that way. I'm saying you're wrong. That's it. Or when she was drinking alcohol while I was in the program, and then she was blaming it on me. And after 2 weeks of crying and getting punished, she finally admits to it. And this isn't the first time that she's done something and she blamed it on me. It just she doesn't get caught off it. Like when I was taking Percocet out of a bottle, somebody else started after me. It was my mother because she knew if we ever got caught, she could just blame it on me. I'm not even kidding. There was a different time when I was about 17 that me and my mother took my dad's Percocet that were sitting there for years. It was sitting there for years, but here's the funny part. I took a couple, then somebody else did. And they've been sitting there for years. I know my father doesn't touch that bottle. Who the fuck is touching that bottle? Is it a ghost? Nope, it was my mother. I found out it was my mother. But why didn't she punish me? Why didn't she? Why? I swore I would be in trouble. When I found out my mother was taking the Percocet from my dad's bottle, she has all permission to do that. So I thought I was in trouble. I said, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I'm in so much trouble. Somebody knows, somebody else knows. So I staked it out, and somebody else took more and more, but these were larger amounts than I was taking. So I took some more. I took like three. To watch it some more. Somebody else is. Eventually, the bottle went empty. Now, when there was about 10 left, now these are Percocet with Tylenol. These are those 505. It's like 5 milligrams of opiate and then a shitload of Tylenol. Well, it just happens there was a Tylenol. They did not say it was a generic Tylenol that had the exact same shape. So halfway through, I ended up putting Tylenol in it. Well, it was wrong. As a child doing this, it's wrong. But my mother was doing it too, and I was watching her, and this was the crazy part. After years of, I mean, I didn't touch my Xanax. Like for instance, my mother cleaned out my Xanax. She was popping my Percocet in the closet before this ever happened. The Xanax went missing when I was like 13, 12 or something, when I was living in Haverhill. That bottle disappeared out of my mother's jewelry cabinet. Not only that, she had a pill bottle in a Ziploc. She had a pill bottle in a Ziploc. I ended up going down and doing some stuff I wasn't supposed to. But then she used her Ziploc bottle of pills. I don't even know what she was going because you can't bring Ziplocs around. Nobody wants a Ziploc bag bottle. But then she even brought that down, showing that she had Ziploc bottles and trying to blame it on me that I put them in Ziplocs. This was out of her little box, her hidden little box of pills. It got to the point where people were asking me for all these pills all the time. They saw me fucked up all the time as a teenager, all the time. I had lots of people asking me for pills, lots of people. It was wrong. And my mother was popping them like crazy, and that was wrong. I caught her red handed. You can't tell me my dad, if he wants to lie and say no, she wasn't, he's lying through his teeth because he knows she got caught grabbing Vicodin from my pill bottle at the age of 16. Caught her red handed, and that's only one. So you can't say she wasn't. And I had to watch this growing up. And don't forget, I wasn't born into this family. The state, the Department of Health and Human Services of Massachusetts, approved of all this. I was taken from my family because my mother was 15. I was put in an orphanage. Then I was brought into foster care. Then at the age of like 4 or 5, I met this foster parents. Then they adopted me right about the same time as the overdose. And a bunch of crazy shit happened too. So I don't know what the hell she was doing, but it was crazy shit. And I got to admit, my mother, my adopted mother, had some mental illness stuff, some really specific, really weird mental shit going on. And she was hiding it from everybody. But me, my father, some people close in the family should recognize that for sure. There's no way that people could not recognize the shit that was coming out of her mouth, the stuff she was doing, and the pills that were involved in the records that exist. I mean, just look at pictures of me. I look like I'm dying at age 7, 8, 9. I mean, damn. My whole childhood, I look like I'm about to die because I was, and I still am. This is fucked up shit. I'm lucky I'm still alive. People want to act like this is some like fantasy. Oh, well, just look at the pictures, goddamn, and I don't look healthy at all. Not only that, that's not proof. But if you take everything and put it together, that's evidence enough. I mean, god dang. I mean, I was going to the doctors reporting this weird allergy attack, my mother called it. It wasn't an allergy attack at all. It was an overdose. The Epicac, she admitted to extra. You got ballet and moving to Texas while a coordination issue and all this stuff is going on. Plus, I weigh what? I look like I'm about to die, and there's something seriously wrong. But of course, I don't get medical care. My mother, oh no, he knows. He just spoke up at the doctors. We better, oh shit. take evasive action right away, my mother thought to herself. Now I'm in a state in New Hampshire in a town that just wants to finish me off. If you've been watching my channel, you'll see I don't get much treatment from the landlord. And I spun around. I keep on thinking about that. You know, I got spun around too, trying to just like find my bearings and get away. I don't even know how the hell I spun like that. Not only that, how dare somebody kick a man on the ground? How dare you? And all I'm doing is trying to give a legal notice on the behalf of an 84-year-old because you keep on playing fucking games. He plays games with the lease. We can have water coming in our apartment for 6 to 7 years, and the mold is giving me seizures like you wouldn't believe, and shakes like you wouldn't believe. Breathing in constant large amounts of mold is not good for you. So yeah, I'm not probably going to be alive much longer, and they're going to treat me like an animal, and I'm going to have to live like an animal most likely very soon. So that's why I'm making these videos. I also trying to write a book. I'm sending them out. There's hard copies. There's offline copies. There's some that'll be sent out to the Green Algae Newells, whoever else. There's also senators, federal agencies. There's a lot that can be done. But I'm a very weak man. I'm a very sick man. So whatever I've done so far and whatever I've set up to be done is probably all I got. And then the other people will have to take it over. That's all I can ask for. Or we try to get people involved now, or things, maybe my prayers are answered. Maybe the courts go better than I think. Maybe people actually start acting, not in a hateful way. Like kicking people on the ground isn't the best idea. He walked into the house, started right from the bat just insulting me when I just tried to say, I don't have rent. I have a piece of paper for you on behalf of David and me. He just insults right after that. Then he pushes his back into me while he goes to try to convince an old man not to serve that paper and tries to really like just push him, like verbally push him and intimidate him. And he's even had goons come over and try to tell him there's nothing he can do. There's not, no, no, this old man can do something about water coming in his building for 7 years. He's 84 years old. You can't tell him that you're just going to allow water to keep leaking in. That's ridiculous. Now, I'm talking about gallons of water right into the walls. I'm talking about mold like you wouldn't believe. I'm talking about this is really, really bad condition. I didn't get to inspect before moving in here. There was already an 84-year-old living here when I came here. This is bad.